And welcome everyone to the Riverside County Board Brief. My name is Pep Fernandez as we give you a brief look at what took place during today's Riverside County Board of Supervisors meeting. We start with a couple presentations in the chambers earlier today. Let's take a look at video of the first one. It was Family Caregivers Month here. And you can notice a lot of folks in attendance here at the chambers. And they play such a critical role assisting those seniors who need help at home, or maybe those dependent adults as well. So that was their chance to be recognized National Family Caregivers Month. Ciara Baldwin and her team also in attendance. And here's a little bit more from earlier today during the board meeting.
I'm going to turn the microphone over to Todd Blanco, who's our Assistant Director. I first want to acknowledge all of the caregivers that are here today, along with the 32,000 individuals that work hard. I also want to acknowledge UDW and our partnership. And with that said, I'll turn this over to you, Todd.
Yes, thank you. Good morning. I also want to recognize all the care providers in the room. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for UDW representing. You know, we have 42,000 IHSS recipients here in Riverside County, about 35,000 IHSS care providers providing that care, over 5 million hours worth of care each and every month. Such important work that needs to get done and is getting done to keep our seniors and dependent adults safely in their homes with dignity. So again, I want to thank you for showing up and representing and providing care to our recipients.
And again, that was Family Caregivers Month. Todd there breaking down some of the numbers. Now, that was one presentation. The other presentation was the employee campaign. Let's take a look at some video from the Board of Supervisors meeting and the employee campaign. Well, what is that? Well, the Riverside County Employee Campaign is when county employees make contributions to charities here in our local community, and the United Way, the Inland SoCal United Way, helping orchestrate, helping make that happen. Last year, in fact, almost $500,000 raised by Riverside County workers during this employee campaign. So let's hear a little bit more from earlier about this employee campaign kickoff today.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Stars. I'm the Vice President of External Affairs at Inland SoCal United Way and 211 Plus. We are the administrators for the Riverside County Employee Campaign. The campaign kicks off every single year with this event with the Board of Supervisors, and we're able to announce that the campaign is open for county employees to make contributions to their charity of choice. Each year, Riverside County employees come together to make gifts that support our community in the areas of education, arts, healthcare, and the environment, and any other charity that they choose. We're so proud to partner with everybody to make this happen, and each year we raise more than $450,000 to support our community. A huge thank you to the Board of Supervisors, all the department heads, and all of our coordinators for making this possible.
Yep, and could not do it without Inland SoCal United Way playing such an important part there. And again, the big kickoff starting today during the Board of Supervisors meeting. Now let's talk about some environmental health. Let's take a look at, again, some video from the Board of Supervisors meeting. That is Jeff Johnson. He is the director of the Environmental Health Department here for Riverside County. He went in front of the board seeking permission to revise an ordinance having to do with the backflow board. Now, today, he was just seeking approval from the Board of Supervisors to push this forward and come back with a recommendation on what to do with the backflow board. Here is Jeff explaining it far better than I could during the Board of Supervisors meeting.
When you eliminate an advisory group, which is basically what this is, of citizens, people who are specialized in the area, I think that we're taking away some of the public transparency. And I'm always in favor of as much public transparency. I think it keeps us at least an ability for someone to come to somebody not as intimidating or threatening, or however you want to say it. You're the government, and we need to have the ability to have people feel comfortable.
I can appreciate those comments, and perhaps if we maintain the board, we'll find a different assignment for them. Right now, there's criteria that they meet quarterly, and if there's no real reason to meet quarterly, then maybe we'll just rearrange some of the things to maintain a board, but different assignments, perhaps. Right now, we have an independent contractor and then 2 people from districts within the county that are on the board, in addition to 2 environmental health staff.
So get rid of the environmental staff?
Yeah, and put 2 other people who are certified, whether they be at large or from a district. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, as long as they're qualified to and technically sound to perform that
And that would adhere to, number one of your recommended motion is order initiating an amendment to the ordinance. Is that how we would get there, is just
Yeah,
amend the
this is-
ordinance?
Yes, this, what is before you today isn't specific on what the path
How?
forward is.
It's just
I
amend
still
the
need more
ordinance.
information from the districts before I come back to you guys and see what's gonna go unnoticed in the field. If they're really dependent on our services, of course, but if we don't add value, then what's the point? That's really what I'm trying to get to.
So that was Jeff Johnson and a couple of supervisors going back and forth, doing a great job of explaining what was exactly approved today to move forward here with the ordinance. All right, and finally here on the board brief, let's go ahead and take a look at our last piece of video, and it was a resolution brought forward by Supervisor V. Manuel Perez and Supervisor Karen Spiegel, the resolution denouncing anti-Semitism, which has been in the headlines here in local news. Supervisor Spiegel, Supervisor Perez, and all of the Board of Supervisors taking a strong stance against this. They both had comments they wanted to share during the Board of Supervisors meeting, so let's take a look at that now.
I've heard from residents of the 4th District that these are scary times, and I've also received a comment that something similar happened in the region, in the 4th, as well as even in the Temecula area a few months back. So I think it's important that we speak out to say that such acts are not tolerated and that we stand up for human rights and use our voice to educate and work to stop anti-Semitism.
Something that is people need to be wide-eyed and realize that color of skin is not the only persecution and discrimination that's been happening, and that we have to look beyond just the color of skin, that we have to look about not excluding people. You know, inclusion is limited, but when you don't exclude anybody is really what we need to look for. And that's a hard thing in a country that has been doing it all along. From the very beginning we have. And this is just another way of raising awareness, and thank you again, Supervisor Perez, that we need to take a stand and say it's not okay.
Yeah, thank you, Supervisor Spiegel and Supervisor Perez, for that. That's going to wrap up this edition of the Riverside County Board Brief. My name is Pep Fernandez, and we will see you next time.